Hey everybody, Lead Speed here. And yes, we already understand, right? Yep. And I'm not going to go any further than that because you guys already know my obsession and yada yada yada. But anyways, for this duel video that I'm about to post, like after this short little clip of a duel I did, now I want to get into a really serious topic. And I feel like everyone can kind of participate, you know, whether you're playing like Yu-Gi-Oh or whether you even play Pokemon. Like if you guys, I know some of my viewers are Pokemon watchers too, and I do want to get some Pokemon videos up. I just haven't been that, I just don't feel like I'm that great at the game anymore. You know, since I hadn't been playing it all that much, I feel like my abilities at the game have deteriorated a lot and stuff. So yeah, basically after this little clip I'm showing you, I'm going to talk about a really serious topic. And I guess the topic is going to be like, what makes a good game? Like what in your opinion, like what really makes a good game in like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, or anything like that? So anyways, after the little clip and intro, we'll get to it. So see you guys after that. Peace out, guys. So, did you enjoy the little clip I put there? I'm pretty sure everyone was excited or whatever, but you know, that's just how it goes. But yeah, there you go. If you guys actually wanted to see me get raped by Dragoonies, there you go. I'm not gonna commentate over it, obviously. I just have music playing or whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna commentate over a different game I had or whatever, and then talk about the topic from there. So yeah, see you guys after the intro. Peace. Hey everybody, Lead Speed here. I'm back and bringing you guys another DN video with random stuff I talk about being in the backdrop while this game goes on. Now this was against Constellars. Their main gimmick is, you know, spamming Xyz, whether they're ranked 3, 4, or 5 because of cards like Constellar cost and Pollux to extra summon a Constellar so you can make easy rank 5 plays and, you know, summon like one of their boss monsters like a Pleiades or whatever. People call him Mr. Compulse because that's what he does. He bounces a card back from the field to the hand once during either player's turn by detaching a material. And it's really annoying, but I'm not here to talk about that because, as you couldn't guess from the title or even the beginning of the video, I want to talk about like what makes a good game. Now you might think, well, why do you ask that? Well, the thing is, even though for months, actually, I played Gustles before that, but we're gonna leave Gustles out because they're nowhere near as retarded as these other decks that, you know, people talk about or whatever. But for months, I played the Mermail Atlantean deck. Now, I talked about how back then, I never ran Genix Undyne and Controller in my deck. And I still have not yet. Like, I've never done it yet. So, I mean, if you see me use a Genix Undyne in my deck, consider that a first. And there is only one reason I'm going to be doing that. Because of Evil Swarms and, you know, them summoning out Evil Swarm Ophion and completely screwing you up. That is the only reason that I'm going to be running Undyne in the deck. But, yeah, that aside, like, what makes a good game? Like, when you look at some games or whatever, like, you know, people go off. Sometimes like they go first, they do a bunch of shenanigans, and then you go second, and you're like, well, shit, what do I do? He's got all this crazy crap on the field. I didn't draw my dark hole. I didn't get a heavy storm to get past all the back row, anything like that. I didn't like draw any of my outs to their field. Now, of course, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Sometimes your luck's just bad, you know, like my luck was kind of bad in this game. I didn't draw the best hand, and Gores was just dead for most of the game. So, I mean, that's normal, but I want to talk about like when I posted that little clip at the beginning where I was playing against Dragoonity with Tempest, the Elemental Dragon of Cyclones. That's going to be a separate video, me talking about the Elemental Dragons. I am not looking forward to making that video. So when I do it, you're gonna, if you couldn't tell, I was very angry. You are gonna really notice how angry I get at the deck right now, because, and it's funny because I remember playing them early on and they weren't all that bad, but yeah, times changed. So yeah, shit hits the fan basically. So, yeah, like when you're fighting against someone and they do all this crazy crap, and then you're pretty much locked down or whatever, and then you go, shoot, GG? Question mark, and then you just scoop it up because there's nothing you could do. Like, what is that really a good game? I mean, we say it all the time. I mean, we always say GG, you know, at the end of every game on Dueling Network or just anywhere really, but I don't know. I mean, I'd rather you just shake my hand and be done with it, but like when you do that, so I don't know, like I kind of want to talk about like what really makes a good game. Like honestly, for me, like what makes a good game is that, like, you know, both players, like if both players draw decently or whatever, like even if it's not like, even if you don't have like the best opening hands, you're able to just go back and forth, do this, do that, and then, you know, you have a play to counter their play or something like that. No singular sided lockdown where you just can't do anything. I mean, it's why even when a deck like Dino Rabbit was at its peak and, you know, the cards were available online on Dueling Network, like I never really played Dino Rabbit. I might have played it like once, but I never really played Dino Rabbit. And certain decks like I never played and never will, just because I don't like how they work. It's just kind of weird. Now you might say, well, Lead Speed, Mermail and Atlanteans are pretty busted. They're tier 1, they're the #1 deck of the format. Yeah, but here's the problem though. Like, it's a cycle. It's a vicious cycle that's existed throughout this game. I think we can even go back to older formats and see the same kind of thing. Maybe back then there weren't as many decks. I mean, we got a whole lot of decks right now. So there's a lot more luck involved with like what you're gonna run into, basically. You can run into anything really. Especially when it's on Dueling Network, you can just run into anything really. You can run into Constellars, you can run into like Six Samurai, you can run into a mirror match. Oh my god, the mirror match. I dread that I kind of dread it every time just because it's more annoying if anything. But that aside, like, what honestly makes a good game? I mean, I know some people are like quitting the game because there's just so much luck sacking everywhere. And, you know, I agree, like, with some of the decks, like, with this deck or whatever, there were times where I had, like, the most sacky hands ever, and then I'm like, holy crap. Because, like, sometimes I don't even open, like, I don't usually open that well. Like, I may open with Abyss Megalo, Double Dragoons, Diva, and then, like, Abyss Sphere or something. Like, I may have Abyss Sphere, is that I may have an Abyss Spike to lure out back row. But yeah, like sometimes I open really busted and then you know, I say GG, but then I'm like, why do I say that though? Like, why do I say GG? Like, was it really a good game if I just sacked you like that? Or did I just say GG out of sportsmanship and something like that? I mean, that's what I think. I think it's out of sportsmanship. We want to be nice and, you know, we want to say good game because, you know, we don't want to just say bad game because it feels like insulting. But I don't know, like, some people might argue that it's insulting to say GG when you nut over, like, you know, like, you say GG when you nut over my face and my hand was bad and I couldn't do anything to stop you or something like that. I don't know. Maybe people are just sore. You know, maybe I'm just sore. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Is that why? Are we just sore losers or something? Like when that happens, like when we get frustrated at people saying GG when they sacked us and our hands were bad, or we played it slow because we didn't know we were playing against. Like in that game, in the clip, I was just like, okay, summon this TS, get my hand and get some decent field presence, you know, get a big defender on the field, maybe make a big push next turn. Cause like there was no point in me overextending first turn, especially if I didn't know what I was playing against. But you know, if I did know, I would have done different plays, obviously. But you know, you can't predict what your opponent's playing at the time, unless like you played against the same person over and over and they played the same decks. But yeah, like if you run into the same decks, yeah, you'll know what to expect. And honestly, you'll almost main deck hate for them because it's like, oh, you're playing like Constellars, I'm gonna main deck this hate for your deck or something like that. So like, I don't know, like at this point in the game, like we'll get into, well, I don't even know if I want to make a video about it. Like I almost wanted to make a video talking about just the state of the game and stuff like that, but I don't know, you can kind of put them together in the same topic because, you know, like there are a lot of decks right now, you know, people, I don't know, like when I was talking about how Mermail Atlanteans won, why it says Austin or whatever, and how I was disappointed that like the Frog Monarch deck didn't win, like it's kind of stuff like that, like and especially since like if this is honestly one of my favorite decks for reasons that, you know, I liked mermaids, I liked the idea at the time, you know, when they first came out or whatever, and I didn't run Undyne because I didn't like it, I didn't want to. I just wanted to run more mermails because it was more fun and I thought it was good. So yeah, obviously I was right because, you know, eventually Billy Brake did something like that. He and Jeff Jones put a deck together and then, you know, they made this mono mermail thing and that's how it came to be. And, you know, everyone started playing it and stuff like that. But you know, when we have decks like Prophecy and Evil Swarm and, you know, Elemental Dragons coming out, you know, Spellbook Judgment Day for Prophecy is going to be crazy. And, you know, some people talk about how this form is going to be a lot of, you know, self-touching or whatever. And honestly, this deck, I will say it does have its moments where you're touching yourself a lot of the time. But I feel like with a deck like, you know, Elemental Dragons or something like that, with their full support, that's pretty much what you're going to be. That's like the entire, like when I was facing the Dragoonity player, that was in my head. I was like, okay, now that is self-touching. Like I'm watching for like 10 minutes, watching him do this thing and that. And you know, with my crazy plays with Mermail Atlanteans, they would have ended pretty fast. So I don't know, like at that point, it's just like, well, can you get a GG? Like, and a lot of the time, like I get great games, but I'm never recording at the time. So it's like, shoot, I had like this awesome game, but I wasn't recording, so that doesn't count. So I don't know. Like, what do you guys think about that? I mean, this could kind of apply to anything. It could apply to Pokemon even because, you know, it's a card game too. You know, and I don't really know how the card game is right now as a whole. I don't know if it's like sacky like this game can be right now. So I don't know. Like, let me know what you think is a good game in the comment section below. Like, is it a good game, you know, just, you know, both players sagging each other or just being one-sided, or is it when both players, you know, give it everything they got, you know, both players are able to pull off their combos. There's no real lockdown. They just played it out and, you know, just played it out. So yeah, let me know what you guys think and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.